Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here. The Pete Kane Podcast Show. We are pivoting. That's just part of life. A no show on a podcast creates an opportunity just to share some very important things with you. I'm going to go into, since I finished my certification week of 30 hours of intense role playing education, being better prepared for you. And this is to my certified high performance coaches because this has happened to me by accident, but it was sort of intentional because I struggled my whole life trying to do what I wasn't good at doing. The details, the writing, the stuff that we all have. And I was stuck on the busy bus. The busy bus is distracting. The busy bus is noisy. The busy bus is constantly doing stuff that you're not good at doing. So it doesn't get you to the destination you want. But if you recognize your superpowers and you recognize that you do what you do best and get better and better and better and better, man, these things kick in. The human drivers, aliveness, connection, meaningful pursuit, and personal development. Self-awareness that if we intentionally grow each day, we become alive. We make meaningful connections. We have a bigger vision of ourselves, but it's intentional. You have to activate personal growth to achieve this. So let's go back to these three things. I've done over 400 podcasts. And the first one I did, although really awkward, maybe the first 10, maybe the first 5, I knew it feeded me. I knew, as my mom would say, you love to talk. I do. I love people. I love learning about people. I love curiosity. I love learning. And when I was able to start feeding that part of me, my superpowers started to evolve. Didn't happen overnight, never does, but it's been 50 years in the making. So it's kind of a weird thing, but it is. Growing up dyslexic and ADD, active brain with a brain that just sees the world differently. So academics was never my thing. When you fail English in high school, when you don't graduate with your class, when you make 2 unsuccessful attempts at Virginia Tech, you realize that you're probably not going to be getting that PhD, but you do get a PhD in learning. And you self-learn, you personally develop because you know that maybe the classroom wasn't your thing, but maybe life was. But I struggled. I struggled bad. Tail spinning into depression, tail spinning into being stuck, tail spinning to have what we call suicidal ideation because your brain is always focused on the wrong thing. And you realize that if you feed the negative parts of you, it grows. It just does. So if you intentionally feed it with the right food, the right mental food, the right personal development, it grows. So we have a choice. Have you read a personal development book? Do you subscribe to personal development every day? Let me back up. I want to share a story with you. It was over 3 years ago. It was February 5th, 3 years. I found myself having a stroke. The whole left side shut down, like quickly. I knew what was going on, but I didn't do one thing, which I recommend everybody do: call 911. Your family's got to do the same thing. So if you're calling your family to make the phone call, you're losing time. Seconds count. So I lost maybe 20 minutes, and that's a story for another day. But the main thing is, you have to make those changes. When something happens like that, and you wake up the next day, so it's 20 minutes, they finally come, I throw up on all the EMTs, sorry, Cherokee County, because if you were part of that, you felt my energy the wrong way. Okay, I wake up the next day. It is so white, cold, but white. Am I in heaven? Did I survive? Am I alive? Or have I moved on? For a second or two, you're just trying to figure out what it is. Then you start seeing family and you go, man, are they with me in heaven? Or am I somewhere that I'm not really understanding? When you get your wits about you, you've survived. You're still here. You're still here. There's still work to be done. But you have a shift into second chance. You have survived. You have an opportunity to do things differently. You can thank God that you're alive. And when you do that, you take life and you realize the preciousness of life. 49 days sitting on your back, not moving, not eating, not doing anything. Going to the bathroom, showering, walking, all those you have to learn again. And when you have to learn those again, the body, when half the body shuts down, the whole plumbing gets mixed up. And I have a story, man, it's another day, but when the plumbing ain't flowing, like your life, if your life isn't flowing, you're stuck, you got to keep moving. You got to keep putting that first. You got to be able to move forward. Nothing happens good when you're stuck. Keep going. Keep going. The journey of 1,000 miles, first step. So if you're stuck like I was, many times before that stroke, many times. And one day, I didn't move. I looked at the computer screen, totally frozen in depression, totally not moving, stuck in this. This had spiraled out of control. And I only tell you that activating movement, activating your superpowers, which is possible, takes self-awareness, takes looking at yourself and saying, how do I want to show up? What kind of impact do I want to make? What am I going to do different? And when you start asking these questions, you start realizing that the answers are different because you have life. You have a second chance. And we only have a limited amount of time on earth. Very limited. I'm going to my 50th high school reunion. It seemed like yesterday I was picking up range balls because I didn't get to participate in the celebration of graduation because I failed. No trophy handed out. No trophy. The reality is you didn't pass. Hey, tough as it is, that's the reality. We don't give you anything. You got to earn it. And if you don't earn it, you don't get it. So everybody getting a trophy, You got to earn it. You appreciate it much more. So I go to summer school. I pass my second attempt. I go to Virginia Tech. I fail first year, 2 quarters. Come back. Okay, let me change. I'll go into an apartment. Less distractions, less confusion, less many things. I fail again, 1 quarter. So I come back, head between your legs, failing, getting a dose of failure pretty early in life. I was always in the slow remedial reading and the slow class. I always labeled myself slow. That's not exactly a powering label, but you do, because you haven't discovered your superpower yet. You haven't discovered that self-awareness. What do you need to do? What changes? How do you need to adapt to this change? So I get my parents, thank God, send me to be tested. And I get the test back. Dyslexic and ADD. Don't know really what it means, but I know I have an active brain. I know I process things completely different. I know I misspell words every other word. I know my notes look like shorthand. I know there's something not right, but I don't know exactly what to do about it. So let me fast forward to a lot of ups and downs. I mean, ups and downs. And I'm at 64. February 5th at 64, which would be 25, that's 22. 22. This is right after COVID. Everything shuts down. I survive. I'm alive. And I work through the 49 days. 10 days of hell at the local hospital. Then I go to Shepherd. That is indeed heaven. 39 days of the most incredible care, the best people you'll ever be around, helping you repair, to get better, to move forward, to reset everything in life, because I was an avid runner. I played golf 5 days a week. I run in 25 peach trees, 20 to 25, whatever it is. I don't run anymore. I don't play golf that much, besides putt. Maybe a few shots here and there. But when you play 5 days a week and you wake up in the morning and you're thinking about playing with the guys at 5 o'clock and you work your ass off, you work hard because you know you're going to get out there and play and compete and strategize and jaw and just do everything to get in the heads of your people you play with. You love it. And then when that's taken away, you got to figure out something else. So I figured out 2 things. I replaced those 2 that it was taken away at that time. On the running part, it was journaling. On the golf part, it was podcasting. I even tried golf podcasting, but I wasn't playing, so it just didn't click. Then I was moved into a senior facility, 55 and older, but it was a little bit older than 55. It was over 80. So I got a touch of senior living, the end of life. People I met 94, 92, 90. Oh man, I could tell you some stories. But I'm just got a chance to touch the latter part of our life. And if we neglect and we're in that regret mindset, that's not what you want to be. So you want to keep moving. Keep moving. We would say movement is medicine. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. The average person watches 4 hours of TV and scrolls up to 3 hours of social media, consuming other people's lives. You got to keep creating your life at whatever age you can. Because if you don't, the average person after retirement dies within 2 years because they don't have a purpose. They stop creating. They start consuming. They sit and they don't do anything. Before you know it, tailspin, and they're gone. You don't want that. Keep creating, keep creating. So I start podcasting golf. Love it, but it wasn't the same. I could talk about it, but it wasn't playing. I even played one-handed. It just didn't connect. I knew I'd eventually get back. Then a person, when I was playing one-handed, I asked him, because you always ask, like, how long is it going to take to get back to somewhat normal? Nobody would ever tell you because they don't know. Brain injuries, every injury is different on the brain. And I was in my first certification, and I had a nurse who was a neuro. So I asked her, how long? I don't ever get any answers. She said, 8 years. I went, holy mackerel. 64, 8, that's 72. Whoa. That wasn't what I thought. I thought I'd be back 6 months later. No. Then I asked another person, golfer. I asked, yes. And I said, how long was it before he was a good golfer? And he had a stroke 8 years before that. I said, how long was it before you started, to play and play 18? He goes, 8 years. I went, what? 8 years? And it was stamina, because the brain has had a major reset. You got to rewire your brain. Rewiring takes time. So that's stamina. When I was down in Tampa playing with my friends, Mike and Walt, and Mike was just shy of having a hip replacement, so he was hitting in pain. So he quit after 9, stayed with us, but Walt continued. I made it one hole after Mike, and I fell asleep in the golf cart. Fell asleep in the golf cart. I was exhausted because you have to step up over the hand railing every single time, in and out of the cart, in and out. Wore my butt out. So Walt played 3 or 4 or 5 more holes, then we went back, and it's just like, that's about, if I had a special card, I probably could have played 12 or whatever. But you just don't know this until you go through it. So I tell you this to share with you. Your superpowers are inside of you. Discover them. Activate your superpower. For me, I go from writing to podcasting. I get to talk. I get to learn how to talk again. My whole left side went down. So I get to exercise it, use it or lose it. So I'm using it. I'm talking. As my mom said, it loves to talk. And warns my friends each time they drop me off at her house in Richmond. It's like, hey, did he talk your ear off? Well, now I make a living talking and also listening and learning. That's why we podcast first. Then we create online courses, because we're in a digital world. We're doing business around the world. So you got to be creating. If I'm not doing podcasting, I'm creating courses. If I'm not creating courses in podcasting, I'm coaching, high performance coaching. And I've been through 2 week-long certifications, and then every day I work on it. Every single day. This is what happened. A year after having the stroke, I'm listening to a podcast, Ed Milet and Brendan Bouchard. I had seen Brendan 12 years later, 10 years later in San Francisco. I think it was Experts Academy, something like that. And I was blown away. I mean, this guy was incredible. I mean, blew the socks off of everybody, including me. But for some reason, I lost track. I always liked personal development. TPN, for those people, the People's Network was all about people, teaching, learning. And I did it because I had a dyslexic brain. I had to go a little bit extra to learn. So I leaned into learning early. and I leaned into reading books, even though I wasn't the fastest reader. I've since become a lot faster at reading. Jim Quick, um, Jim Quick, I think he has a word there. Okay, we'll come back to it. But I learned he's a brain doctor, the brain coach. And I subscribed to it, and I got his book, and I started working on it, working on, training the brain, retraining the brain, and it worked. It worked, and now I'm a pretty fast reader. I listen at 1.7 to 1.8 speed on YouTube. Even on growth day, I'll turn the speed up because I've trained my brain to be able to learn at a faster pace, because you focus. When you focus, you can learn faster. And when you learn faster, you move faster. So when we look at creating courses, we do it within this platform, StreamYard. So we help people podcast, create courses, and embrace high performance coaching. Because when I went on this journey with personal development, I upgraded to the master and I started learning all these courses. Then I hired a coach. Then I went to 12 weeks and I signed up again. And then I met a gentleman, Mark Matthews, at the certification. And I Googled him, got a hold of him, and asked him to be my coach. I switched from an in-house to Mark. He was at the time getting a PhD in human behavior. My kind of guy. Energy and learning about the brain, learning about humans' nature and the potential of human nature. 6 months of being coached by Mark. 6 months. Really rewiring everything to get transformation in my life. And I ended up becoming a certified high performance coach. Coached to 7 people one-on-one. So if you're wanting some help and you want to activate your superpower, the first 10 are going to get the most incredible opportunity. Only 10, because they got to work through I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm activating my career. So 3 more people. So if you feel that you want to be part of activating your superpower, you can. Go to pkane.me, do a strategy session with me. It'll be the best hour you will ever spend in your life. And now is the right time, because we are going through massive change. AI is turning this world upside down. And you want to be right side up through all this massive change. So being coached by a high performance coach is going to make a difference in your life. You're going to develop those superpowers. You're going to learn what you have inside of you. The magic is in you and anything's possible. However, you got to activate it. You got to start. Start first. We have it from $9 to $2,000 at the current time we're doing this. That's our range. So you can't say I can't afford it. You can't afford $9 to invest in yourself and give up a Chick-fil-A meal, maybe 1 meal a month, because the number one's about $9. Then you're just not investing in you. You got to start thinking, invest in you. You, personal development. Even at the point where you can invest 7 days to try out growth day, like I did. If it clicks like it did for me, whoa, you better put the seatbelt on, because you're in for an incredible ride of growth, of activating your superpower. So you go to Growth Day, you can either go to Growth Day or you can go to pkane.me/growth day. If you do that, I'm going to give you my free course, Mindset, Goals, and Habits, because I want to help you activate your future, activate your superpower, have a brighter future, because we are massively changing, massively, and you can be a part of it. So The human drivers are aliveness, connection, meaningful pursuit, and growth. You put those in play, the world is your oyster, and anything is possible. Because in business, I always like to remind people, there's only three things. You got to generate leads, create cash flow, and build thriving communities. Everything else, if you don't create leads, you have no business. No business. Because you ain't going to create cash flow. And you certainly won't be building a thriving community, because who wants to be part of a community where you don't know about generating leads? You have to have that. That's why we give you our masterclass. Go to pk.me/masterclass. Free for you. Number 5 is growth day. Number 2 is high performance coaching. You got to be mentored. You got to be coached. Why not? If you're going to be coached by a high performance coach. I mean, you only go around once. We only live once. And unfortunately, it goes by very fast. I'll be attending my 50th high school reunion. Whoa, seemed like yesterday. I'm picking up those range balls and on the range at Salisbury Country Club. It was fun because my friends were there graduating and sitting through the process. I was picking up range balls, making some money. It was fun. It's kind of an accomplishment when you pick up range balls. Oh man, it's just cool. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Okay, but you got to generate leads. So whatever you do, whatever business you're in, you got to figure out the first piece. Generate leads. Generate leads. And if you want to know more about that, get connected to us, because we're building thriving communities. We have virtual events. We have live events. We have weekly meetups. We have workshops. We have webinars. We have things to help support you to generate those leads. Because once you learn how to generate leads, you're creating demand. Most people flip it. They have unlimited supply and not enough demand, which means no price tension. You gotta create massive demand, because the cool thing about today is people buy from people. People buy from people. They don't buy from companies. Social media has changed it. And when they buy from people, my mentor, Daniel Priestley, wrote this book, Key Person of Influence, with Mike Reed. There's a formula called 7-11-4. 7-11-4. Digitally, Roger Denbar came up with the 7. You have to consume, you have to get in people's friend circle, because our filters filter everything out. When you bring people into your world, then you're getting to know them. So a person like myself, you may not know who the heck is this guy. But when you listen to me, you hear, you get to know me through 7 hours. Then you make 11 buying signals. You do an assessment. You buy my book. You listen to a podcast. You become a guest on my podcast. You see a LinkedIn post. Because if you see me on 4 different platforms and you make 11 buying signals and you've consumed 7 hours of me, click, the brain puts you in that circle of friends that you need to be able to get into. Then you learn how to pitch. My pitch is simple. We generate leads, create cash flow, and build thriving communities. Period. Done. And if you say nothing, I say nothing. Now I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself, because I want to see what kind of person you are. But once you get your pitch down, you got to work on it. You got to build that curiosity. Because if people aren't interested in you, they ain't going to do anything with you. That's just the fact of life. Don't throw up on people like people tend to do. If they're not interested, you don't need to give them a 30-minute talk on who you are. They don't care until they're interested. So you got to be tight, you got to be short, you got to build curiosity. If I do that and you go out and buy my book, and the same thing happened to me with Daniel Priestley. I had a gentleman, Christian Dorr, on my podcast, and I said, how do you want people to reach out to you? Oh, I have an assessment and I have my newsletter. I said, okay. I went, assessment. I've heard that before. I took it. And that was Daniel Priestley's assessment. So I ended up signing up. I bought his books. I have all 5 of his books. Entrepreneur Revolution, Scorecard, 24 Assets, and the Key Person of Influence is the other one. There's one more book. What is that book? Scorecard, Key Person of Influence, Entrepreneurial Revolution, 24 Assets, which is a digital. There's one more. But anyway, 5 books he's written. I have them all. I've listened to hundreds of hours of him. I've gone through a workshop. I've gone through a presentation. I'm just waiting to partner with them because my business isn't where it needs to be, but it's getting there. Partnerships, profiles first, your digital profile. If I meet you, I just meet you, I bump into you, and we have a great conversation. I'm going to look you up. I want to see, what does the world say about you? And if you don't give me more to consume, the journey stops right there. You want people to continue the journey with you. You want them to continue to learn more about you, because if they do, you're on the path for 11 buying signals. Then products, like our masterclass. That's one of our products. I have courses in goals. Wait. What is it? Oh, geez. Okay, hold it. Good. What's before goals? Dang. Oh, here, let me see. Mindset. You can see mindset sometimes leaves me, but it's not because I forgot it, but you lose a little bit of your short-term computing skills when you have a stroke, different type of stroke. But anyway, you get a mindset, goals, and habits course. I have a key person of influence course. I have a journaling course. I have a high performance digital course. I have a lot of courses because I'm creating digital products, And I'm working on presentations, because if you can't present yourself, how do you expect people to be attracted to what you're doing? So you got to work on that. And then the partnerships, I don't go out looking for one client. I'm not interested in one client. I'm interested in partnerships. And when you have the 5 P's in this order, pitch, profile, product, presentation, and partnerships, you have them in the right order. Buy the book. Go out and get Key Person of Influence. Search him on the line, Daniel Priestley. You can listen to so much stuff he has out there. He is phenomenal at the future, because the future is bright if you become a key person of influence. I had a digital marketing business, probably gave me a stroke. Trying to figure out all the algorithms and changing every time you get it figured out, Google flips the script and puts a different algorithm out there, and you got to change your strategy again because they do, because they're improving. But you just have to do 7-11-4. It's a simple formula. It makes sense, but it's not common sense. But you want to start the journey with us? Okay. Then go take a strategy session. Go to pkane.me. If you're not ready to schedule that, then connect with us at pkane.me/connect. We have so much going on to help support you in the journey. A meetup each week, webinar once a month, workshop once a month, live event once a month, virtual summit once a month. These things are there to support our thriving community. We want the best. We want the best that are going to make that impact in the world, that are going to be bold, make an impact, and have fun. Christy just finished 12 weeks with Christy. She has a travel agency, and she helps people implement the having fun part. You don't need to wait till you retire to have fun. Enjoy it along the way. Set up a vacation, mini vacation. Go on one once a quarter, once a month. Give yourself a break. Have fun along the journey, because if you don't, you'll burn out. And if you burn out, well, you burn out. But you don't want to do that if you have the skills to implement having fun. So you schedule time with your family. You schedule vacations. You schedule breaks. Be intentional. All right. So let me go back to finish. So if you're a certified high performance coach and you want to activate your superpower, our masterclass, which is right here. Let me put this up on here. This allows you to do these three things. Podcast generates leads. Create courses creates your content that people can enjoy around the world. You can monetize it. And then high performance coach, because number 2 is high performance coach. Number 5 is growth day. You're already doing both of those. Just implement the others, because when you do what I've done, 2 years ago, I hired a beautiful person in the Philippines, Trexa. My partner actually hired her, but then we shifted a little bit and I took on Trexa 2 years ago. And she hired Rolando to build her team. So you can focus on podcasting. You can focus on creating courses. You can focus on your coaching and let the others do what they do best to support it, to get it up on Spotify, to create those courses so people can enjoy them. People will pay for them, but you got to put it out there. You got to have a plan. The plan is podcast, create courses, and coach the high performance coaching. Because if you coach, for those that aren't familiar with high performance coaching, let me bring this up, because in there you're going to get 12 weeks right here. You're going to get transformation, because you're going to get high performance focal points. You're going to get clarity, energy the 3rd week, 4th week, courage, 5th, productivity, 6th, influence. Then we're going to shift into mastery, psychology, physiology, your energy, productivity, persuasion, purpose, and then a commitment to a life mindset of high performance, because high performance is different than you've ever seen. That's why the 12-week transformation is critical, shifting this brain, helping you to understand the power of high performance. So if you want to do this, get a strategy session. If you're a high performance coach and you don't have lead generation, you don't have a way to create courses, and you want to really wrap your business around your superpower, which is high performance coaching, then schedule a strategy session so we can get to know you and see if it's a right fit for you. All righty. Okay. It's good to be with you. Hey, it's kind of crazy. One person doesn't show up. I get a chance to do this, which I've wanted to do. I was going to do it later, tomorrow, and the next day. But you always got to be ready to pivot, because you just don't know what's going to come up. And when something new comes up, pivot, change, adapt, tweak your strategy. You might say, I had one person and he spoke at our event. He goes, I have my own thing I'm doing. Okay, it's your choice, but you're missing out on the greatest opportunity, because being part of a thriving community, learning how to generate content, and creating courses allows you to scale. Scale is the best word you'll ever hear in business. Scale it, baby. Almost like drill, baby, drill. Scale, baby, scale. Okay. All right. Look, understand key person of influence. Have a good feel for the 4 human drivers: aliveness, connection, meaningful pursuit, and personal growth. And wrap your superpowers in your business and be able to work at the fastest speed you ever worked at. Because when you embrace somebody that's doing all the stuff that takes time and gets you stuck, and you do what you do best, which is amplifying your voice out, creating content and podcasting, inviting wonderful guests on, and creating courses, you're creating your life. And when you activate your superpowers, you better put a seatbelt on, because you're about to go on an incredible ride. All right. My name is Pete Kane. Some people call me Podcast Pete, except my mom. And be bold, make a difference, and have fun.